Jack Roubik, Tom Terry, they put together the first rock and roll band in LaCrosse. To me, they were like Elvis, I mean, because we didn't get to see a lot in LaCrosse. They were like God around town.
Back when I was young, and my mom and dad had a tavern, I started out sort of like tap dancing a little bit. And every time customers would come in, they wanted to know where I was, and they wanted to see me tap dance and that. And they would play a lot of country western music, and I was fascinated by that. So in school, I asked my friend if he wanted to start a band. And he said, yeah. So as after school was, we went to a clubhouse we just picked up the guitar and started playing and singing a song, and finally there was a knock on the clubhouse door. It so happened that it was Drew Gromberg and Junior Ferguson. We were doing a country western talent show up in Winona, and asked if we'd appear. Well, we didn't want to do it, and they said they'd give us $5 for each guy. And at that time, it was Bill Weigel and Tom Terry and myself. But we went up there to do the show, and it just flopped. We were going to do a rock and roll, and they said when we walked on the stage, you can't do that. So we did Train of Love, and nobody clapped or nothing. We were embarrassed. We'll pack up and go home. We got our $5, but then the show ended early, and they wanted us out there again. We said we ain't going. Not the second time. We were embarrassed to dickens. We should have never even did this. But he said he'd give us another $5 extra a piece. That was a lot of money back then. We decided amongst the band to do a rock and roll song that we do best. And Tom Terry said, we can't do that. He said, this is a country show. I said, I don't care. We ain't going to be back up here again anyway. And these people don't know us. We don't know them. So we went out and had our backs turned. The curtain was closed. And when the curtain swung open, we had our backs to the audience. We quick made a turn around and did 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and the crowd went wild. They just loved it, and they had us up there every weekend. They had shows. Every time we come up there, they'd say, here's the boys from LaCrosse. God, we hated that. We got to get a name. So there's 4 of us. We'll call us the 4 lads, huh? Oh, no, they didn't like that. How about the 4 J's? Jim, Jack, the J, We thought that was it. And Tom said, well, wait a minute, my name has got a J. We only got 1 T. So I'll call us the TJ so we can change that name later. We got so popular that we didn't want to change the name, so we kept it. We were fooling around during the break after in the house there, and went out to the kitchen going to get something to eat, and I was going to try to slice the banana. I don't know why, but I was showing off or fooling around, slicing banana, and somehow I sliced it too far and I cut my finger, and it was bleeding quite a bit, so I had to go to the hospital and get a couple of stitches. I guess that's how I hired Dwayne too. I couldn't play guitar for a concert the next night with my hand bandaged up. So then we hired a replacement, which was Dwayne Schrader. Another concert we did in Caledonia. After the show, we dressed in the home economics room, I guess, in the basement there, and the girls were breaking down the doors and trying to get in. And Bill Weigel, he hid under a cupboard, and Dwayne was hiding in the closet down there and thinking I was going to run and hide in someplace, and I bumped my head and cut it open and all that. What a night that was. There's been other places we got run out of town, from the guys, because we were probably flirting with their girlfriends. One day, I decided Tom and I will go down and talk to Lindy Shannon that worked at Lightwood Music, and he has a radio show. He's a disc jockey, and we asked if he'd give a listen to our band, and he didn't seem too interested at first, and then finally he said, "I'm going to tape my show for tonight. If you guys want to come down, and I'll give you a listen." Well, he fell in love with it right away. He thought us guys were really good. So we played on his show that night, and the next day, I remember him having several thousand kids down there for an autograph and everything else, and we decided to make a record. Lindy would put 500 in, and we would put 500 in, and we went to Minneapolis to Cape Bank Recording Studio and made our first record, and it sold out within a day or two. But we only had 500 made, that's all we could afford, so then the second record came out. We didn't want to do the first song, Party Party, so we decided to do something new, Live It Up, and I Got a Baby. Seemed to go really well. It went nationwide, didn't it? All of a sudden, Decca Records, Capitol Records all wanted us, but they would take the song and what they call put it in a bucket and for 6 months, and then release it again. But we don't want that, and that was probably our biggest mistake, because we would have went national, worldwide tape. So we kept on playing a lot of disc jockey shows and radio shows and TV, and got popular and popular. And we were off one weekend, and Lindy we called him our agent, but he had no experience in it. But he said he'd give me a call and said that you want to go up to Winona and back up Patsy Cline and Fair and Young? I said, I don't even know who they are. I was 16 at the time, you know. So I went up there, and Patsy Cline, she was a heavy-set woman, and Fair and Young was pretty good, but you could tell he had a few drinks. But we did good. It went real well. And after that, it was a week or two later, Patsy Cline was killed in a plane accident. But the band broke up in '59, and we were sort of burned out anyway. We ended up playing in nightclubs, and no more of those. Other bands were coming up at the time. There were different bands like the Superphonics, Johnny and the Shy Guys, Dave Kennedy, the Ambassador. Different bands were coming up, and all of a sudden we seemed to be losing our crowd as far as audience for teens. So we had to go to the bars, and we ended up doing okay there, but that got tiresome too. So I ended up going in the Army. I had been booked in North Hollywood, California at the Palomino Club, and then they were booked at Las Vegas. I think the Golden Nugget was there. But see, I couldn't play those places because I got drafted. Of course, I tried to get out of the Army like everybody else did, but they figured if I went on the road playing in a band, I could come in the Army. After I got my papers, I came back home for 2 weeks. On the way home, I stopped off in Minnesota, Austin there, and there was a band playing that didn't have a bass player. Mind if I sit in and help you out? It was called the Convertibles out of Iowa. 4 girls walked in there, so they sat down in front of the bar, and I looked at that one dark-haired girl, and I thought, she's pretty. I walked down during the break and talked to her, and asked her if they want to go out and have a bite to eat, and then they agreed if she could bring her girlfriend. Bring them all. You know, I just wanted to meet her. So when I went back on stage, the same, and they got up and left, and I was shocked. I think she heard a lot of bad stuff about musicians. In fact, I don't even think she knew who Elvis was. So she just stayed away for a while. When I met her, it took me about a week. I didn't have nothing to do on a Sunday, and the band went back to LaCrosse, and I decided to stay in Austin. Nothing going on. Movie down there, I walked downstairs at the movie, and then it was a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I thought I don't want to see that, but all of a sudden here, the black girl come up with the mom and two little kids. I finally got her name, Sandy. She didn't give it to me at the bar. She wouldn't tell me. So we went to a movie and I went in there, and that night her mom invited me over for supper. From then on, that's how we started going together. I got drafted in the Army and I wrote her every day and I wanted to marry her. We went to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Fort Leonard Wood in Germany. Yeah, I formed a band. We called ourselves Versatile. And yeah, we played all the USOs. Yeah, that's funny when you get about 4,000 or 5,000 Army guys in a crowd, but no women. And they try to sing to some guys, you know, it was hard. But it was, they roared and clapped and everything. So then on weekends we'd go to a couple German canteens and we'd play there. And they got what they call the Battle of the Bands. German band would come up on stage, play 4 songs, go off, and then we would come on. And of course, they liked the American bands better. Got a lot of free beer. And in the meantime, I got out of the Army. My time was up. And then when I got back here, all hell broke loose over in Vietnam. And I just lucked out. I didn't have to go. You know, they never called me back because I found a family and 3 kids. Decided to go back on the road, but I couldn't take my family. And I didn't want to, what I call a fork in the road. Either you go play on the road, but you'll end up in a divorce or something. So, or stay in town, get a job, and play in town. That sounded better.
It's just a roar in the crowd when the TJs came up, and I'll never forget that. The TJs knocked them dead that night too.
Thank you. This is one of our first records back in 1956.
At the end, we didn't have a plan. But 4 of us grabbed each hand and raised them up to thank the crowd. It looked nice when you had 4 guys all thanking the crowd because it was our final appearance. I think that memory there would be my best.